Iran has a new leader, but no regime change. The son of the former ayatollah is considered to be even more of a hardliner than his father.
Meanwhile, Israeli forces are targeting Iran's oil facilities and military infrastructure, while Iran and Hezbollah continue launching missiles at Israel. CBN News Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has the story.
Iran named Mojtaba Khamenei, the second son of the former Ayatollah, as the next leader of Iran, who analysts say is more hardline than his father. President Trump says by getting rid of the Iranian regime, the U.S. will have gotten rid of a major cancer on the face of the earth.
We will take it out of cancer. You know, don't forget October 7th. Don't forget all of the things that have happened over the years, all caused by these people. So what we're doing is a great thing, not only for our country and not only for Israel, not only for the Middle East, but for the world.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave an address over the weekend saluting Israel's armed forces and commending citizens for their support. His spokesman, David Mencer, told CBN News Israelis are holding up under the pressure.
All of us here in Israel are united in supporting our armed forces and supporting the wisdom and the foresight of our Prime Minister and President Trump for getting this job done and ensuring that Iran can never again be a threat to this country.
Israel is targeting infrastructure sites in Tehran and elsewhere, including the IRGC Air Force headquarters and oil warehouse and depot. The war is taking an economic toll as the price of oil topped $100 a barrel. The Jerusalem Post reports an unnamed security official said Iran is unleashing a stepped-up terror campaign on Israelis abroad. We are seeing an Iranian removal of restraints that is almost unprecedented. No proxies, no filters. Where they can act, they act, whether with brazen determination or in a dirty manner. It is a fundamental change in approach because they feel they have nothing to lose right now, given what they have absorbed. Israel is adding new countries to its travel warnings, including several countries bordering or close to Iran, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. Meanwhile, Iran and its proxy Hezbollah continue to launch missiles and drones at Israel, with most targeting the north and center of the country. Most missiles are intercepted, but some have landed, including one that killed 2 Chinese workers in Tel Aviv. Iran continues to strike targets in Arab nations, including a U.S. airbase in Kuwait and a desalination plant in Bahrain. A U.S. military service member died of injuries from an Iranian attack in Saudi Arabia last week. In Washington, D.C., President Trump and Vice President Vance attended the transfer of 6 soldiers who died in an attack on a base in Kuwait. Over the weekend, Israel also carried out more than 100 attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon. 2 Israeli soldiers were killed, including a Druze soldier. In a pushback against the terror group, Lebanon adopted a decision banning Hezbollah military and security activities, showing an attempt by the government to position itself as the protector of national security. Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell joins us now live from Jerusalem. So, Chris, the Muslim clerics have named the son of the former Ayatollah as the new supreme leader. What can you tell us about him, and what does that statement make about Iran's determination to keep on fighting?
Yeah, Gordon, Mojtaba Khamenei, he's 56 years old. He was educated in Iran's religious center, so he's part of that religious fanaticism in Qom. He was in his father's inner circle. He wielded power behind the scenes, and he also has, Gordon, close ties to the IRGC. And to give you an idea of what he's like, he worked with the IRGC to crush the 2009 Green Movement. That was brutal crackdown then as well. But what statement does it make? It's really a defiant move, Gordon. And I think it's designed to signal that the fanatical, jihadist, Shiite ideological line, it's going to continue. It's going to dominate the Iranian leadership. And many see the IRGC as the real power in Iran. But they issued a statement pledging their loyalty and absolute obedience to Khamenei. Now, I said the IRGC, they control most of the economy. So it seems like his election is going to signal that the military security establishment, the IRGC, is still in control. But on the other hand, the U.S. and Israel say he's really in their sights, they don't want to leave any man standing.
Does this signal there's going to be a crackdown on the protesters yet again, that the people of Iran are not safe from their own government? Are we going to see more repression?
I think that's exactly what it says, Gordon, that the protesters, and I don't think there's many of them out now because of the bombing and the fact that they are putting their lives at risk right now. So I think that kind of suppression, that oppression, and the brutal crackdown on those protests isn't going to end anytime soon. I think it's going to continue.
When you total up the police force of Iran, the Republican Guard, all of these various forces, the clerics, the entire judiciary is part of this. You get to 1 million people who have weapons, and does that make it pretty obvious that until there are ground troops in force in that country, you're not going to see a regime change?
Well, it's a great question. There are about 1 million, I should say, IRGC, plus the Bajish, not including the army, which is a whole different story. But it seems like what the U.S. and Israel right now are hitting the headquarters of the IRGC and the Bajish all across Iran. Now, that may destroy their infrastructure, but that certainly doesn't take them off the playing field. And so some people say you're going to have ground troops on the ground at some time. Now, right now, there could be ground forces that will be used to secure nuclear sites, to secure those more than 400 kilos or 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium. That's enough to make 11 nuclear bombs. And that's something that the Israel Special Forces did. Back in 2006, they destroyed a Syrian nuclear reactor. But the boots on the ground may have to come eventually, but unlikely that there would be a ground invasion. If there was a sudden regime collapse, perhaps, Gordon, or power vacuum, there may be a small force to secure like nuclear sites. But I think what the Israeli ambassador said yesterday, I think is very telling. The ultimate boots on the ground will have to be the Iranian people, representing about 90% of the people that would be able to rise up against those 1 million IRGC and Baji's forces.
Well, it's tough to rise up when you don't have any weapons. Are both sides sort of playing a waiting game here, letting economic forces take over? On the Iranian side, they've closed the Strait of Hormuz, and so oil predictably is I mean, some people are saying it could go as high as $150 a barrel. So, I filled up my gas tank last night, and suddenly it's, 80 cents more a gallon. So that's going to have an obvious impact on every single economy on the planet and every single stock market on the planet. At the same time, Iran doesn't have any way to make money, and so how are they going to pay 1 million people who are on the payroll? So at some point in time, those paychecks stop. Are both sides playing some kind of strange waiting game? Who's got the most money to wait it out?
I think that's exactly what's happening right now. I mean, the trump card, no pun intended, has to be the Strait of Hormuz. And if Iran can shut that down, where 20% of the world's oil goes through, that's their main thing that they can do. On the other hand, just yesterday, it was the U.S. and Israel that hit much of the oil facilities in Tehran. And now they didn't strike the infrastructure. And they want to keep that in place for any potential future government. But they have hit much of their fuel depots, and that takes away some of their economy and the ability to actually fuel the IRGC, the Baji's, and the army. So it definitely is an economic war going on behind all the explosions and the kinetic battle that's going on.
Real quick on Lebanon, is the Lebanese government doing this just for show? I mean, they should have cracked down on Hezbollah decades ago. And so they've passed this resolution. Are they finally going to enforce their own government, keep a terror group from operating out of their own territory?
Well, if you listen to the prime minister, the president, they're really making unprecedented condemnations of Hezbollah. I think the only reason they can do it, and they are doing it right now, Gordon, is the fact that the Israeli Air Force and troops on the ground are hitting Hezbollah in southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley and their their headquarters in Beirut. And because of that, I think that's why the government is coming out with these strong statements. I think until then and until now, they really haven't felt they've had the ability or the boots on the ground, I should say, the force behind them that's really going to degrade Hezbollah to a measure where they can actually speak out against them.
All right. Well, Chris, thanks for joining with us. I'm not hearing sirens in the background, so that's good news for Jerusalem today. Thanks for joining with us.